This is the Ecwid Ecommerce Show with your host, Jesse Ness, along with Richard O'Tay.
All right, welcome back, Ecwid listener. This is Richie again. Jesse is out, and I am going to be interviewing a return guest, the head of education at Ecwid, Josh Berkstresser. How are you, Josh?
I'm doing great. I had so much fun the first time. Excited to come back.
Yeah, good stuff. I hear you got a lot of new education material for the, is there a term? Are they equites? is there a term? Yeah, I've never really even thought about that. But
like an equestrian, or however that word goes, that rides horses.
Yeah, exactly. Making words up here on the show.
Yep, that's what we like to do. Make up educational content and words.
Yeah, so what's this academy where if this is the first time you're hearing this, you have emails in your email box, you have seen stuff on the socials, you know that Josh has just unleashed an academy with his team in the education department at Ecwid. And we just wanted to have him on to let him know what you should be expecting in it, a little bit about it, what you can get out of it, all that good stuff. So give us the rundown on what they should expect.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, no, so, we've been working on this since I've been on the podcast a year ago. This has been, kind of the primary goal of the education team. For those that remember the podcast from last year, one of the things that I talked about when I first joined Ecwid was we had a lot, and still do have a lot of different types of educational material, blog posts, help center articles, tutorial videos. But we never really had like one place for people to go to that would present to them content in an organized manner to accomplish certain things, especially related to, let's say, launching your store and getting your first sale. So, since probably February, March of this year, we've been working on two things at the same time. The first is creating some new content that's very much tailored to, all right, so you have the tutorial videos and help center articles on here's how I add a payment method, here's how I add my shipping carrier, here's how I set up carrier rates and my taxes and my store name, like the kind of the nuts and bolts of just, building your store. But then there's the second part of like, all right, I got the store there. How do I get people to visit my store? And then more importantly, how do I get those people who visit my store to purchase my goods and or services? And then once they've purchased those goods and services, how do I ship them their order? And how do I ship it in a way where I don't go broke and the customer finds the pricing enticing? So looking at all that and like, all right, what content do we need to create to tell those stories of first launch your store and now here's how to actually run your business in a way that will make you profitable? I mean, I'm sure we don't have anyone listening to us. It's like, I wanted to open a store so that I don't make a profit. I don't think that's anyone's goal. So, everything we design content-wise is like, how can we make you profitable? And as we design that content, we created, and some of our merchants have seen that content because we created stopgap landing pages and put it in our emails when it was the right time for them to see that content. Maybe they just added their first product and then they got an email saying, hey, you added product, it's time to get some visitors. But we always had the long-term goal of creating some sort of place, some sort of academy or university where that content was A, easy to find, 2, organized in a way where our users and merchants didn't have to think about what do I need to take and when do I need to take it, so we can kind of tell a story with the content. And 3, it looks good. And gives us a place where we can keep adding because we're not done. Hopefully we're not done. I need a job. So we're going to just keep creating content and finding ways to support our merchants in selling and running their business. So, it's now, probably, we're in the middle of November here, and we've launched the Academy, and the name we chose for the Academy is very instructive of our goal with the content, and the name of the Academy, the kind of slogan of the Academy is build your business. And that I think that will resonate with our merchants because ultimately that's what they're trying to do, right? Whether it's initially as a side hustle or it's their core hustle. But it's not just a store, it's a full business, and there's multiple elements to that. And it's not just how do I do these settings or connect my store to Facebook, but like how do I actually sell on Facebook? Like, what are the tactics I should use, or what are the tactics I should use to advertise on TikTok, this platform that I keep hearing about that has billions of users? And our job is to get you covered in that area. And so at launch, people will notice that we really focused intently on two things. And we have a curriculum, a page that has all of the content we have around these two objectives. So they don't have to go searching for it. And it's launch your store and get your first sale. So all the content you would need in order to do those two things, we have in one place. When you sign up for Ecwid, you will get that in an email within your first few days, so you don't have to go looking for it. We will send you to there. And you'll have all of our tutorials neatly categorized by task, like set up your payments, set up your shipping, and we'll have all the tutorials in there. We'll tell you which ones we think are, must-haves, and then other ones are optional based on the type of your business. Are you a restaurant, so you may be interested in some of our point-of-sale tutorials. Do you do local, so maybe local delivery? Do you have a WordPress site? So we'll have tutorials so that people can skip around and find the ones that relate to them, and then links back to all the information they need. And then after that, we start to take you through the journey to get to your first sales, and that all starts with traffic, visitors. You can't make a sale without people visiting. So we have an entire series on like how to get your first 20 unique visitors, not 20 visits, but unique visitors, like 20 individual people. And then from there, you go into how do I convert them? How do I get those people? What can I do on my store? What can I do in social media? What tactics can I use? How can I display my products, describe my products? What tricks can I use to convert those visitors? And then once they're converted, what's your strategy for shipping them their order, their product? Everything from how should I price my shipping? Should I do free shipping? How does free shipping work? Do I really need to cover the cost? All of those sorts of questions we answer. And that's what we have at launch. And looking to the future, we're going to add things on, how do you track the performance of your store? How can you use Google Analytics to your advantage? What analytics features exist in Ecwid and through apps and whatnot? Because, you can't be successful if you don't know what's going on in your store. And then how do you do customer service? How do you, retain customers? It's always cheaper to resell to existing happy customers than it is to acquire new customers, right? So how can you maintain? So those are the sorts of things that we're also going to look to add to the Academy in the next few months and in the years to come.
That's awesome. So if you keep adding, it sounds as if since you have this, put the store together, then your launch and your first sale, going through the first visitors, all that stuff. This is going to be very useful for wherever you are in your journey, because you could have just logged into your Ecwid store for the first time. You clicked on something, or you're listening to the podcast for the first time before you get started, and you're going to get walked through step by step, or you've been doing Ecwid for a while and you just know based on what just happened this year, I need to work on my shipping, or I need to work on product photos, or whatever it is. There's going to be an ongoing library continuing to be added to that. Whatever you're thinking you need to work on in your store, it either is in there or probably soon to be in there. How in general does the education department take on requests if people because I know people always will ask questions on the show, if when we have a actual Ecwid merchant, and is there a way that they interact with you, or is it pretty much it's one way right now? Or can they email you and say, hey, can you cover this subject, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it's a few things, right? So right now in the beginning, it's one way. One, we don't have, the Academy just launched, so we'll just now be having mechanisms in there to actually start, gathering information from our merchants as they interact with our educational material. And it's going to be it is very important to me and the team and the organization that we hear from our merchants. So having communication methods built into the Academy, whether it's surveys at the end of courses or, launch of communities or whatnot, as the social element of our learning expands as well. that will provide us with more data and inputs as well, as far as like, where do we go content wise. In the start though, because we're trying to get that core curriculum out, where we started from is what do we know based on our own internal metrics and data. What do we know activity wise needs to happen in order to run a successful store?
Yeah.
Right? There's plenty of successful merchants within Ecwid, and we've done case studies with them, and we interact with them in user interviews and surveys, and so we've always had that data. So obviously we look at that, and we also look at other metrics and stuff and say, all right, let's map this all out, and we know that these are the core things that need to be addressed and core activities that need to happen to get to your sales. Once that's done, and we tackle kind of phase 2, which is what do you need to do to level up, right? Go, do 100x of your sales and actually scale. Then that's really where we get to have some fun and be like, where are the areas where our merchants, whether it's in blog comments or on social media or even in the help center, search terms and stuff like that, where let's do a deep dive into content-based marketing, or how to write copy, or how to take a really good product photo, or set up your own studio for cheap, like all sorts of really cool fun ideas that aren't necessarily as, let's say, deep or comprehensive as like how to generate traffic, but for some of our merchants, they're like, oh yeah, I just wanted to look at that thing, right? Like how to create a really resonating TikTok ad, or how to go viral, all sorts of stuff like that is sorts of things that we're going to be looking for and listening to from our merchants, and then find ways to create content around it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, way to take the lead on that, because being head of education, obviously people coming on, some people don't know what they don't know. So putting them through that particular order like that, and then saying, hey, we're open to questions for sure. We want to know, what you're thinking, what you need help with, but follow this first.
Yes.
And then, hey, so I'll throw this out there. I don't know exactly what it would look like, but as more people go through the academy, let me know. However you do communicate with them, or if you get in touch and you see someone who does exceptionally well, let's bring them on. Let's bring 1 on, 2 on, 3 on. Like we can pick that number later. I'll bring as many on as one. I love talking. I do. It's my favorite part about the show. Nothing against. I love learning from you too, but the merchants, it's just to hear the transformation is just so fun, and I love.
Agreed. 100%. I'm not the one doing the selling every day.
Right.
it's our merchants that are doing all the hard work.
Yeah, so definitely let's keep an eye on that, and then as you see someone doing something special, or just following directions and just it worked. Whatever the story is, I'm into it. So is this going to be, since this is just happening right now, and I don't know, I guess I should have already asked it, is this in the dashboard? Are they going to a certain place? How are they?
Yeah, the primary way in which people will find it is, one, it'll be linked on our main website in our learn category. But also another core element of our education is getting the right content to our merchants at the right time. And email right now is the best way to do that. So when someone signs up their new store, one of the very first things we're going to do for all of our merchants is introduce you to Build Your Business. And so all of our new merchants will know it right away. We'll advise them to bookmark it, and hopefully that just becomes one of their places they visit regularly as they set up their store. Obviously, we don't want it to be somewhere that someone needs to go to all the time, because ultimately I want our merchants to be focused on running their business, right? It shouldn't have to be so complicated that they need to continually do education. But they can bookmark it, and it's there, when they have, 10, 20% spare time, to do some learning and make sure that their strategies are on par. But yeah, we'll definitely, it's definitely going to be in enough places where it's not a hard to find place.
What is the on average? I mean, I recommend, I want to go through it myself too. So some of these questions I'm just want to know for me, but I'm sure someone's asking the same question. About how long does it take to go through a module? Like if you went start to finish, is this something that I can do in 10, 15-minute increments, sit down?
Yeah, so we definitely created it in a way with in mind of saying, one, I don't want it to have to occupy a bunch of time. Time is probably it's cliche to say, but time is the most valuable resource. but one that we often don't prescribe value to, because it's not like you're feeding dollars into a vending machine to get like 10 minutes back. So on average, a lesson is 5 minutes, right? So if you look at our traffic series, we have about, I think, 7 or 8 lessons, and they run anywhere from 5 to 6 minutes. So you're looking at, half hour, 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. But the great part is we also designed this in a way, and you'll see this when you look at any course page, where you could kind of look at it, maybe skim through, but also below every single lesson are the key takeaways in text, are the key resources. Those could be blog articles, help center articles, other links that are relevant to what we talked about in the video, links to apps on the Ecwid App Store that can help add the functionality to achieve what we talked about, and then your next steps. What are the concrete things you should be doing next based on what we talked about? So really, it's kind of at your own pace. Someone could go through and skim through, and some people may just like and be able to operate right off the text that they see below the video, and within 5 minutes they're like, oh yeah, I never thought of making sure that my stuff was on Google free listings. It tells me the next steps. Here's the link for me to do it. I'm good to go. Wow, awesome. They got to that in 1 to 2 minutes. Other people love context and just love absorbing, and they can go through and watch the whole thing. So it's designed in a way where everyone can approach it in the way that works best for them. And in our more newer courses, like our TikTok course, we break it down even further. So, our courses are broken down into chapters, and under each chapter is a bunch of micro lessons. So you can really skip around and you'll get the info you need within just a few minutes and be like, yeah, I just wanted to know about, Spark ads. And then, you just watch that Spark ads and how to connect, and then maybe you'll come back later. So you can jump around, watch it as long as you want, watch it as short as you want. We try to get the information to you in different ways so that it's not just a one size fits all.
Yeah, well, that sounds like my 9-year-old could even do it, because that's about the time length and
right.
It's a movie. She's like 5-minute increments. Yes.
Yep. There's a reason why TV is structured into about 8 to 9 minutes of content and then 2 minutes of ads, because typically that's when it's, we need a break.
Mm-hmm. No, I really, really love this. I'm serious. I want to go through it too. So I look forward to it. Well, man, we could dive deeper. Is there anything we should have covered with? Because to me, this is almost like, well, this is the announcement. Let's get you to check this out.
At this point, I'd say stop listening to me. And if you're wanting to learn more about how to run a successful store, visit Build Your Business, our academy, and start learning, and hopefully you get some more visitors and increase your sales.
And we have the links to resources in the show notes as well too. So if you're just on your mobile and you want to click over, you're not in your admin right now, or wherever you're at, you can get to this academy. Awesome having you on, Josh.
Yeah.
Look forward to getting through. So send me up my sign in.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Hey, this is Jesse and Rich. We want to let you know we really appreciate you listening.
We hope you find the tips we give you helpful for growing your business.
You can find all of our past episodes and a lot more useful stuff at ecwid.com/podcast.
And also, check us out on your favorite podcasting platform like Apple Podcast or Stitcher. And make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing.
Be sure to let us know what you think by rating and reviewing so we can serve you better.
So subscribe on your favorite platform.
And come join our community, check out the transcripts, or tell us why you would be a great guest at ecwid.com/podcast.